All right, if you're just joining us, a very warm welcome to you this Thursday as we continue the conversation about Nigeria. It's a never-ending conversation about Nigeria. Every day something new comes up, and of course, you latch on to it. Prince Adetokunbo Kayode, senior advocate of Nigeria, is joining me for this morning's discussions. He is the first deputy president, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, former Minister of Culture and Tourism, Labour, Justice, and Defence. All of this happened between 2007 and 2011. I didn't know you went to this many ministries. I thought it was just culture and tourism, and then briefly as Attorney General.
Well, that period was a period when so many things happened. We had change of government, and that also impacted on things.
Okay.
Secondly, I think the President Yar'Adua was trying to test people's abilities, and because of that, he made some reshufflement within a year or thereabout.
Okay.
So people was trying to position people in a way they think they can do better for him.
And then when he passed on and President Jonathan took over,
one or two changes also take place.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I remember that was when you then became Minister of Justice.
Well, in between, for a short period, yes, I was in justice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to have you again. I also didn't know that you are an investor until your president, who was on this platform yesterday, we wanted him to come back today, and he said no, he had a prior engagement, but he has a very capable vice president who will be joining us today. And then when he said the name, I said, I thought it was just all about law.
Well, you know how it is. I've been in Abuja for 33 years.
Wow.
All my life I've been here, and I've practiced principally business side of the law and some pro bono human rights matters. But my practice has been in the business side of the law, property law, banking, finance, and so on and so forth. So we've actually helped over this period to develop the business side of the city. And I've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce for the past 20 years.
Wow. All right. So you have a lot to tell us then on the ease or the difficulty of doing business in Nigeria. Okay, if we use Abuja, where we are conversant with as a starting point, how easy is it to do business in Nigeria and contribute as an entrepreneur, contribute your quota to the economic development of your immediate environment and the country?
And the country.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we should start from the premise. The World Bank has what they call the Ease of Doing Business Index. This is an index or statistics that they roll out every year, whereby they assess countries through taking a mean position to find out how easy it is to do business in those countries. And they do this by checking, first of all, the ease and the cost of registering your business, just starting from that basis and moving on to when you begin to make profit. They consider the whole chain of indicators. And I can say that in the past 10 years, Nigeria has not been doing so very well. We've moved from 104 position out of 195 in 2006, and today we are about 170. That is, we've actually
169.
As a 20, well, with the projection for next year, but 169, 170. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've kind of regressed, but it's not only us. It has happened to quite a number of other countries too. But I'm more passionate and more concerned about Nigeria. And so, what is the basis for assessment? I will start by registration of companies. For instance, and also when I'm stating all these things, I want to look for the solution. I don't want to go on the problems.
That's what we are particular. Yeah, that's what we are particular about as well.
It is very important to ease up, to make very efficient and very easy registration of businesses. Today, it takes time. Whatever anybody will say, the fact is that business people takes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to register companies. whether the business names or the incorporated company, then it is too expensive. As far as we are concerned, Corporate Affairs Commission should not never be a profit-making organization.
Okay.
But just there to regulate, to make sure that people obey the law in terms of easing you into business, in terms of registering your businesses. So we should slash down substantially, and government has a duty to do this. Okay, that is rather than increasing the cost of registration, it should be slashed down substantially. Okay. Is it because, and this theme will cut across a lot of things I will discuss with you today. You see, we need to make obeying the law cheap and disobeying the law expensive. You see, some people will say, oh, Nigeria people don't want to obey the law. I don't think so. Oh, Nigerians are lawless. I don't think so. I think we need to just make the system a bit efficient and responsive.
I like that statement. Can you repeat it? We need to make obeying the law cheaper.
Cheap.
Cheap.
And disobeying the law very expensive. People will obey the law.
I like that.
You know, so if so look, you cannot do business unless you register. Make registration easy and cheap. People will register. And so on and so forth.
And then if you do business without registering, you pay heavily.
Pay heavily for it. It's just, as I said, and it cut across everything that affects doing business in Nigeria. So you want to register your business, you apply to Corporate Affairs Commission, you apply online. Whichever way we do it, it should be easy and should be smooth. Within 48 hours max, you should be able to get your certificate out. Then what next? You want to maybe now register maybe you get a shop, or you want to register your business premises, because aside from registration of your company, there's also business registration laws in many states. This is not only federal government, also affects the states, even local government. Again, it should be very easy. Instead of the state government officials or the local government officials giving you a form of about 10 or 50 paragraphs to fill, just make it easy. 1 page, 5 or 6 questions. You answer it, they give you your certificate. Just a few days ago, we were in a program with the new chairman of Inland Revenue, Mr. Fowler, Dr. Fowler. And we were talking about taxation and SMEs, knowing that SMEs are the engine of growth. And he said, look, when I got to that place, to this new office, I saw that you have to answer about 30 questions before you can even
register an SME or process your
get your TIN or all those things. You know, the tax identification number. So he reduced it to 1 pager and about maybe 7 or 8 questions. It is possible. So it is just, this is part of the whole idea of rejuvenating the system, changing it. Because if you do the same thing, the same way, don't expect a different result. But if you took it, you change it. And that's the whole idea now. So we make it easy and cheap to register companies, make it easy and cheap to register your businesses, which is different from registering your company, your business premises, your businesses, and so on, because there's so many licenses you need to get in Nigeria. So all those licenses, make it easy for people to get. And also make it cheap, because they are part of compliance with the law. Anything that involves obeying the law should be cheap.
So as to make it easy for people to comply.
To comply. Then make non-compliance very, very expensive, very punitive.
Yeah, because people there will have no reason not to comply.
Simple. So, for instance, now, you take NAFDAC. I just use as an example, which of what is prevalent. If I want to do pure water, and the process is very easy. In fact, before I do it, immediately I have that taking that decision, I go to the nearest NAFDAC office. I tell them, I want to do pure water. And they say, okay, fine. What is you have a business? They write that. They open a file for me free. They put me through. These are the steps you will take. In fact, just phone us. Immediately you are thinking that we will come there at our own cost and guide you. And at the end of the day, so while we've ticked you off all those benchmarks, we'll give you a certificate free.
That's what NAFDAC does?
No, if they do that.
If NAFDAC does that. Okay.
If anybody now goes to do pure water
behind his
without complying,
yeah.
you can close him down, you can put him in jail, you can fine, you can do anything. That is what I mean by making obeying the law easy and cheap. But if you say, oh, before you get it, you have to pay 100,000 for a form to fill, you have to open a file, you have to do this, you have to fund the people that come and inspect your premises. Where is the money for you to do the business? If regulatory issues have taken half of your money. Do you get the point?
I do.
Again, too, I don't want to really I wanted to take it sequentially, but
Yeah.
but I use Corporate Affairs Commission, the State Registration of Business Premises and Registration of Businesses. I also use NAFDAC as typical examples, you know, of at different levels, government institutions actually act as a clog. Again, that is what was happening in the past. But you see, we need to move on. We need to just begin to change, and it's not difficult. Just as I said, the gentleman from Inland Revenue.
Inland Revenue, yeah.
What is this? This is too bulky. What is all this information? He reduced it, went to the heart of the information he needed, created a one-pager, and done.
Could it be that these regulatory agencies got it wrong, either from the way they were configured? Because I will assume that over time, government has seen the Corporate Affairs Commission as one of the agencies we look at when we are looking at revenue generating agencies.
It's the fault of government. And when I say government, I mean government. You understand? For corporate affairs, they are not a money-making enterprise. It's as simple as that. And if the attitude of government has been that, oh, first of all, they should fund themselves, and they should also generate funding for government, then we are putting the cart before the horse. It is not going to happen. Immediately, regulatory bodies begin to emphasize money over regulation, over obeying the law, then we're in trouble. I will continue to be in trouble. So, the way forward, starting from 1st of January, if I'm in a position to issue that order,
to decree it.
yes, all regulatory bodies should just face that the first thing is make sure that those rules which you are established to enforce are working. Okay? Then you will have been doing the mandate, the core of the mandate that government gave you in your law. I know they will always go back to a portion of the law and say, you can raise funds. But that is ancillary. It is not the kernel, it's not the heart of the responsibilities given to them. All of them, not only all the ones I mentioned. I can just mention any agency, I can more or less tell you where they derailed in the past by just emphasizing money rather than getting people to comply with the law and obey the law.
So we need a change, we need a reorientation in the responsibility, what should be the core responsibilities of the regulatory agencies when it comes to doing business.
Yes, just for instance, again, I go back to corporate affairs because that is where everything starts. If you have a limited liability company and you put a signboard outside and you do not write your RC number, they fine you some hefty amount of money. You are killing the business. So find a way to resolve that. That is one. Oh, we pay ourselves salaries, we have to buy our own houses, so we need revenue. Government must, when they establish agencies for regulatory purposes, they must take care of them. Find a way to do that. And I've not said that they should not charge some token, but not push to the fore.
It should be, what they charge should be something that will make it easy for them to comply rather than not comply and be doing the wrong things.
Yes,
you know.
Because if for instance, you want to apply for a driving license, and you don't even know the way, you go to road safety, they say, no, okay, the license is not ready, you have to do this, you have to do your... I mean, you just put as many stumbling blocks as possible. Or you go to the licensing office or whatever, because these days, the state is handling it, and some road safety is handling it, or you want the plate number for your car, then it's easier for you to say, but we have an agent here that can do it. Those are the things that make us...
Which is why you have more than 70% or so of driver's license out there are fake, because of the rigorous process you go through the right channel. and then you go through the wrong channel, in a day you can get your driver's license.
That's another thing. The last time I checked,
And you also lose the revenue.
I'm not aware that anybody is enforcing this idea of people going through a driving academy
before you can be issued a driver's license.
So, but again, we just use that again as just another iconic example of the challenges that it's just a matter of reorientating the mentality of all agencies, every agency. Make a submission to government. What is identify your core responsibility?
Okay.
And focus on that.
Okay.
And they will now use that to benchmark your performance.
Okay. You also mentioned the issue, the expensiveness of this, of what it takes to register a business company. Just how much does it take to register a company, and does it vary from size to size? Like if you are registering a small scale business, and what determines what to pay? Is it really? There's
as far as I'm concerned, incorporation of company should be a flat rate.
Okay.
It doesn't. Your share capital is irrelevant as at the time you are registering your company. But if you intend to do a business that will require a specific share capital, then you can now go and increase. Do you get my point? For instance, if I thought I wanted to do a business that will require a share capital of 1 million, maybe that will cost me, I think it's about 25,000 or something like that. But I could register my company for the minimum, maybe 5,000. Then by the time I'm required to do it, then I can go and increase. Yeah. I want people to do business, is to start the business easily. Then it is now a matter of what they want to do. For instance, if you want to be selling granola on the roadside, I needed a company for it. You don't need to go and spend 30,000 to go and register a company or whatever. Just do the minimum possible. I should be cheap. In fact, the agency's duty should be to help you to get into that business. And people say, oh, we have the one-stop shop.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
The one-stop shop at NIPC.
Yes.
But
is it working really? Because I'm talking about this one-stop shop for business incorporation and all of that for some years now. But I've not seen anybody to come out and say this one-stop shop thing is working. Is it working?
Well, let's put it this way. It is not operating the way government intended it. We copy these ideas. The easiest, the closest one-stop shop is one in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The whole idea is to pull all the agencies in one place. So that when you come in there, either you come in physically or you come in through the internet, you can get all your questions answered, all the issues you want to do. In fact, I can just do one window to make your payment and covers everything. Because all the most information that will be required from you could be shared. Do you understand? It could be shared. Okay, but of course it's not working that way because again, another challenge is we are still working in silos. Most agencies of government,
everybody confined to his own immediate area of operation.
Yes, and again, because we have multiplicity of agencies, we've checked it out properly. Some of them are not clear as to what for instance, there's an organization called NOTAP. National Office for Technology Application and whatever. I have known about NOTAP for the past 25 years. And I can tell that there have been a metamorphosis. Their law has not really changed, save for when they changed their name. You get my point? To NOTAP. But their core purpose has been in terms of technology transfer. But the truth is that things have changed. Technology now is the internet. The issue of technology transfers actually does not really arise as such anymore. And now what happens? You sign an agreement with a Chinese company to come and help you set up a factory to make your garri processing more efficient or your lafu processing more efficient. I'm talking of a mundane something. You have to register that agreement there and they will charge you. They will take money from you before you can register the agreement. So people will not register it.
Exactly.
So, as I say, I'm just giving this. So, when people identify the core of the responsibility they are given to, and they should concentrate on that. Even if they have to charge, it will be very minimal, something that will not, that the business people will find it easy to pay, especially the SMEs. You see, without the SMEs, we're in trouble. Very big trouble. All governments want to create jobs. The current government wants to create jobs. They have to, actually. It doesn't matter whether they want to. They must. The previous and other governments also wanted
Can
to create
government
jobs.
really create job on its own?
Exactly.
Or create an enabling environment for SMEs to create jobs?
It's as simple as that. You will make the SMEs, make it easy for them to do business. Then jobs are being created. It's as simple as that. You make it easy. Of course, there's some roles government needs to play. Create the enabling environment, ease up the regulatory bottlenecks, ease up the agencies that deal with government. That deal with the private businesses, make them understand their core business and that they are responsible to help business to grow, not to be a stumbling block or you can say a roadblock, or a toll gate, and so on and so forth. Then makes, actually the conversation is very long, but then of course provide certain basic infrastructure. People should be able to move. Then more importantly, the banks, the agencies that fund, let them also know that their duty is to make these businesses grow. If the businesses grow, they make money.
Like I asked the question in the opening, whose responsibility is it really to grow the economy of a nation? That of the government, banks,
The private sector.
The private sector?
The private sector should and must grow the economy. But before you can start, as I told you for instance, before I can start a business, you must go through a government agency to register it. That's the first step.
That's part of where government comes in.
The first step. Then other things across, for instance, I want to apply for anything. Maybe I've registered my business, then I want to register to be whatever, anything. You need your tax clearance. You have just started. I mean, you have not even started. You just want to get a license, maybe to be processing gari, one knife. That you need tax clearance. Because tax is what you pay to government on your profit, not on your business.
Okay.
You have just started trying to start a business. So the issue of you don't even have money to start it. Maybe you apply to want a loan from the bank to start a business. You need tax clearance. You go to the tax office. He said, okay, you need a TIN number. Now, you know the interesting thing? The TIN number is free. I took up this matter with Dr. Fowler and his boys 2 days ago. The TIN tax is free. But they said, oh, before you can get the TIN number, you need to get a VAT certificate.
VAT?
Yes. Now, you need to pay for VAT certificate. And
most times, starting the business. You have not started making profit.
You have not even.
You have not even started.
No. You are just, so you do this, and let me tell you, whether you like it or not, you will pay for your tax clearance.
Even when you are not making profit yet.
Profit. You have not even started.
You have not started the business.
Then you want to get all this. You open an account. The bank. Then maybe you need some facilities from the bank. Bank say, okay, go and bring your documents, something to guarantee that you will pay back the money. I can tell you, if you take a loan of 10 million from the bank, whether you like it or not, 3 to 4 million is going back to government and the bank through these charges. I can break them down for you, but it's so simple. You take a loan, they have to stamp and register it, you pay 5%. If it's involved, maybe you have a small land in Lugbe or somewhere, you get consent from FCDA, you pay 7%. And God help you if you bought the land. So you have to do deed of assignment, 7%. You have to do a deed of mortgage, about 4 or 5%.
And the lawyers will charge for it.
Of course, the lawyers will charge their fees. Then, of course, you have to do your business plan or feasibility studies. You have to even the valuation of your property. That's another 2 or 3%. By the time you add up everything,
that's almost getting to 50%.
so this is the challenge, but there are way forward. Recently, I was at the Commonwealth Business Forum in Malta, on the back of the CHOGM, just before the political side. We were there for about a week. I represented the chamber, but I've always been interested in doing things like that. And we were talking of funding SMEs because it's a general challenge all over the world. Many countries too have it, Malaysia, India, and so on. But they are finding solutions to it. All I want is this. Let us look at what they're doing. Let's look at what they're doing.
So what did we get from those countries that are doing it rightly? I mean, a small country like Mauritius I'm surprised it's the first and best ranked African country.
Yes.
I think number 70 or 72.
Yes.
Or 28, actually.
That is true.
Number 28.
That is true. Followed by Rwanda.
Yes.
But their case is different because they're not really doing that much. They're just doing tourism.
Okay.
And they're doing offshore finance business.
Okay.
It's a safe haven, financial safe haven for those who have money or those who want to do
hide.
Offshore business. No, those who want to do offshore business, in a way, it comes to that, really. But it is also a legitimate thing because there are many of such centers all over the world. But Rwanda is a typical example of a developing country, even though it's very small. But then you can look at what they're doing. What I've done in my years of business and practices, I copy. I love copying good things. I don't really need to think much. If I see, I like your dress, I just look at it and I go and copy it. I mean,
and then add one or two things of your own.
So let us find out what they're doing in Singapore. And I don't mean just going there on a junket, which we've always done. And what did they do when they have this problem with the banks? Because look at recently, government put a lot of money to fund SMEs. A lot of money was put on table. But how do you implement it? How does the money get to the SMEs without it being lost? So that the SMEs don't take the money and, as they say in quote, go and marry new wives and or take it as a cake, federal cake. So I found out that in Malaysia, what they did was, first of all, to ease the process of application. All the banks had their own forms and formulas for processing. So they streamlined it. One single page of the same form applicable to all the banks. You see, because most of the data you ask for are already there in the system. If you check my telephone, you can get all the data, even my great-grandmother's name or whatever, my village, you can get it there. So make it easy. Then create some, even if you don't have credit bureaus, allow the OPS, the organized private sector, like the Abuja Chamber of Commerce, to recommend their members, to put them through. First of all, train them and give them entrepreneurial training. So when you get 1 million naira from the SME funds, you know it's meant for business. You don't go and start painting your parlor first and buying a new TV. You make sure that money goes to your business. You are taught rudimentary accounting systems. You are taught how to keep your private life and your business separate. All these are entrepreneurial training. For instance, Abuja Chamber of Commerce has started doing that now. And this new 2006 or 16, we're going to really go full for all our members, almost 2,000 strong, will be put through that, especially those who require it. Because we are dealing mainly with SMEs. Then, so you have a small certificate for entrepreneurial training. Then you also can, the OPS should be able to guarantee them so that should be enough to get the funding. It's like Ajo or this cooperative thing. You know that it's a chamber that stood by you. And so you will not want to mess up. You also know the opportunity of being a continuing member of chamber. So government must work. You understand? Is it the only thing that it's not that government really wants to do. Have you seen any government that want to fail? Every government wants to succeed. Government really want to do it. They just most time don't know how to do it. So why they didn't do it because they didn't want, but because they didn't know how to. And we have seen that, look, and it requires, honestly, leadership at the highest level. Because the Minister of Commerce cannot give instruction to the Minister of Agri. The Minister of Agri may not tell the Minister of Commerce what he is doing. So ultimately, and that's why you have an executive.
Everybody wants to succeed on his own.
Yes.
And for all you know, they may be working at cross
not
purpose
that they way
or doing each other.
Yes. So, at that highest level, that's why most meetings of government should be on policy. I can tell you that at least while I was in government, we tried to push that agenda. Look, why do you come to Federal Executive Council and be awarding contracts? You have no business with this contract. Let them go and sort it out. BPP and anybody and sort it out. But when you come there, and not every week, once a month, but you come and discuss policy. Have a lot of cabinet committees that different, all of them, for like ease of doing business committee is so fundamental. So that by the time a criteria is set out there, you distribute to all agencies and you have a monitoring system. The Minister of National Planning, that is his work, monitoring and evaluation, honestly. So monitoring is, we really tried. You recall that the last government was trying to do some form of monitoring, this performance bond thing. But actually it was a bastardization of an idea that was sold in 2011 before we left government, you know, and that was that. But the intention has always been there. As I said, there's no government that I've seen that does not want to succeed. They want to create jobs. I mean, it's good for you. You will say, look, I've created 1 million jobs, but you will not create jobs by giving people money to go and be painting streets. You create jobs by easing the environment of doing business, getting the funding which you have provided into the right businesses, which is the SMEs, not the big ones, okay? Because those are the fulcrum for growth.
Okay. Another area where we'll come to power, but since we are there to issue of finance, is another area where we are also very performing poorly on the index, on the World Bank index. Banks in Nigeria seem not to understand their roles in this sphere, that's the economic sphere. They don't seem to understand that their core responsibility should be how to grow the economy. I mean, because I don't know how, I don't understand, for example, how a bank wants to give you loan to start a business and they are charging maybe a double-digit interest, and then they are not interested in whether you are actually using the loan for what it's meant for, or using it wrongly. But they are interested at the end of when the loan is due, they are interested in having their money back. That doesn't seem to.
Yes, this is, you know, I alluded to that. This is part of the challenge. First thing is the process. The cost of processing for funds in commercial and finance banks, financial institutions, is prohibitive.